Hello YouTube, it is Championdjk coming at you again with another video. I've got some Tarmac Works today, so we're going to be looking at some pretty cool stuff actually, some really cool stuff. We've got a lot of Porsche and a lot of Ferrari, and then we got this random Mercedes-Benz as well. So actually that's what we're going to start with before we get into the Porsche and the Ferrari. We'll start with this. This is a Mio Exclusive limited edition Tarmac Works Global 64 Mercedes-Benz S-Class. Kind of an interesting choice in casting for Tarmac to do. Kind of weird. The Global 64 line are very much like Mini GT in the way that they are built and kind of the philosophy behind them. They all roll. They typically have a metal base. They sometimes will have that kind of rubberized mirror thing going on, so they're not quite as like crazy detailed as the Hobby 64 stuff or the Road 64. They're different castings that are made for Global 64, and they're pretty nifty. They also come with a box, not unlike Mini GT, where it's got the a plastic like clamshell inside of there, so you can have a place to store your vehicle, which I am a huge fan of that. So, and it's a M&J toy, so of course you get the best of both worlds. You can leave it carded as well if you'd like. And this one has a plastic base. I wasn't expecting that. So I thought it was going to have a metal base, and it doesn't have the rubber mirrors either. So this was just kind of a weird casting that kind of caught me by surprise for Tarmac Works. And look at that. It's got the actual hood ornament on it. The Mercedes hood ornament. This definitely feels like a pretty nice casting. You get details for the tail lamps. Sharp detail in the back there, another Mercedes logo. Some exhaust detail. The front end looks really good. And it rolls on softer rubber tires. And it rolls actually quite well. You do need to definitely be careful with that hood ornament. I could see that just catching your finger and then totally just ripping it right off the car. So you got to be careful with that. And that's why I'm really glad it's got an easy way to store it should you need to. So if you're going to display it when you're done. Save the box. You can put it right in there, store it. It's safe, and that is a great feature for premium diecast. Is the box. I almost wish they all would do that. I mean, I don't mind the acrylic case either. You can also store your car that way. So that's not a bad way to do it either. But this is nice because you don't need a screw to go through the car. Although then the ones in the acrylic case also come with, basically their own display case, which is pretty nice as well. So, but there you have it. This is a Global 64 Tarmac Works. Pretty nice, really nice car, nice color, and just a really nice 1/64 scale casting. Kind of a weird choice, I guess, for Tarmac. Especially since the rest of the stuff we're going to look at is more like race car, or we got an RWB in here, stuff like that. So, yeah, a little bit different. Tarmac likes to collab with a bunch of other casting manufacturers too. So I don't know if Tarmac actually makes this or who makes it, but it's a pretty cool casting. All right, so that's that. It's the Mercedes-Benz S-Class. We'll move that to the side, and then the next ones I think that we should look at are. Let's do another collab 64, which is going to be the Porsche. This is a Schuco casting. Schuco is Dicky Toys. These are, I think, made in Germany. I don't know if they're made in Germany. They're designed in Germany. I believe it's a German company anyway. These are officially licensed by Porsche. And we have Tarmac Works. Now these come in kind of a plastic window display, plastic and cardboard. You can kind of display them in these boxes, and it does look okay. but it's all cardboard. There's no like plastic like base for the car to sit on. Yet the car is screwed in, and you're going to find that for all of these. And these ones traditionally the screw is in very tight. Let's see if this one is. Not too bad. So we'll pop that out and take a look. We'll start with this one here. This is the Porsche 911 Turbo. Rolls pretty nice. It's got a metal body, metal base, and you get some detail back there, which is nice. Detailed headlights and tail lights are fairly detailed as well. The wheels look pretty good. They are rubber tires, and it does roll. Schuco just makes a really nice basic kind of Porsche casting, and this qualifies as that. Looks really nice in green. Quite a nice little car. And that's your 911 Turbo. And then we've got the 911 GT2 here and the RSR here. So let's start actually with the RSR in Castrol Exxon. And again, Porsche sticker there, indicating licensing. This is kind of cool. It's set up to do like a roller shot. And I'll get the packaging kind of out of the way. Same deal for the packaging. It's cardboard. And here's this guy. So this is our 911 RSR. So fairly similar to the other 911, the Turbo here. This one rolls as well. Looks really good. The racing livery looks really good. The graphics are sharp. Yeah, nothing to really complain about here. This is actually really cool looking. These racing Porsches from Schuco / Tarmac Works are really, really cool. So like the casting, I know Schuco's responsible for the casting. And then my guess is, Tarmac Works is really what does like the racing liveries or decides to release them with a racing livery on it, is what I think typically happens. But I don't know. I'm not sure how the relationship exactly works. But I am glad it's there because these are really cool. So there's a bunch of different Porsches like this in racing liveries. I don't know how accurate the livery is. That I am not sure of, but because I am not an aficionado of that. But I don't know. I'm not sure. And then we got the Porsche 911 GT2 from the 24-hour Le Mans, 1998 in PlayStation. A PlayStation-sponsored Gran Turismo car. That is really cool. This car actually was submitted to a Lamley Award, the 64 car one, and nearly won. And I think it's basically simply because of PlayStation that it nearly won, and that's okay, but look how cool this thing is. And by the way, this rolls actually super smoothly. Yeah, look how cool this is. Super cool. Again, detail on the base. It is metal, rubber tires. This model is actually really awesome. I'm glad I bought this thing. Pretty detailed livery. Yeah, nothing to argue about there. That is pretty awesome looking. All right. So we'll set our Porsches aside. Highly recommend those Schuco Porsches. They're really cool. So then let's get into this. This is Hobby 64. So Hobby 64 is kind of more like, I guess we could consider them the higher end Tarmac. This is a RWB Rough Rhythm Fuel Fest car. Interesting packaging on this one. Student driver. And I don't know, like Tarmac Works, that's the one weird thing about them is they package their cars all different stuff, right? We got the Schuco, we got the Global 64 that was in M&J Toys, we've got the Global 64 actually also just sells them in boxes like this. We've got, you know, Road 64 and Hobby 64 that are in acrylic case, like your standard kind of acrylic case. Then we got this weird thing right here that's in a box. Just a straight up box, but it's like bigger than, you know, the other boxes. And then there's an acrylic case inside the box. And this is one of the ones, since this is Hobby 64, where they're limited and they'll come with one of these cards that are numbered. So this is number 1440. Cardboard box. And then, of course, the actual acrylic case. And then the actual car. Let's go ahead and unscrew this car from the base. One screw, of course. We are student drivers. This one's got a wheel that's coming off the rim. Let me fix that real quick. There we go. Now, this is not a roller by any stretch of the imagination. Those tires are really locked in place. It almost looks like it wants to roll, but it is not going to roll. This also has a plastic base. Metal body, plastic base. Big old plastic wing. And it's an RWB, so it's got the wide body kit. I mean, it's cool looking and all. I mean, I think it's kind of neat. But to me, honestly, and I like RWB Porsches. I think they do look pretty neat. They are kind of works of art. And, you know, I do enjoy them. And this looks pretty cool. But for me, out of the Porsches we looked at, this one's definitely the coolest, in my opinion. Plus, I mean, this thing rolls. And it's got a metal base, so it feels more substantially heavy. And it just feels better. So I'm digging this casting more than this one. This is, I think, just a Tarmac. This is an original, like, Tarmac Works casting. This Porsche. It's got a nice Porsche logo up there. But, I mean, it's all right. It's not bad. It's just not, I don't think it's as cool as the Schuco stuff here that we were looking at before, in my opinion. So, you know, you guys let me know what you think. I mean, it's a cool looking car. It's definitely a cool looking car. Just not quite as cool, I don't think. All right, so that's that guy. Now we're going to get into Ferrari. And Ferrari, these castings are IXO model castings that Tarmac has used and put their stuff on. So we're going to take a look at these. We'll start with the F40s, and we're going to start with the Road 64 F40. So this one is an F40 LM in just a straight-up yellow paint job. This is an official Ferrari product. It is officially licensed by Ferrari. And this one should come with a card, and it does. 1528 on that one. Standard kind of premium packaging where you get the cardboard, little sleeve thing, and then an acrylic case. So, and then of course the car screwed down to the base. So we need to remove a screw. Comes out really easy. These F40 castings from IXO, I've actually got quite a few of them, or a few of them that have come out, I should say. I don't think I have all of them, but I've got probably like six or so of these. They kind of put them out in quite a quantity. And they are pretty neat. So the racing livery ones I think are a little bit cooler than just the basic ones. They do have a plastic base. This one's got kind of a wonky tire that I might need to mess with to get to look better. Yeah, it's got some weirdness going on here. I'll have to mess with that off camera. Inevitably, when I open any amount of like premium cars, there's always one or two that I've got to like screw with after getting out of the package to kind of fix. And this might be one of those, or is going to be one of those. But anyway, this is quite detailed. It's got a lot of detail to it. It looks pretty cool. It looks pretty neat. But not as cool or neat as the 24-hour Le Mans ones that we're gonna be looking at here in a second. So while this is pretty cool, it's a one-seater. There's no seat because it's like set up like a race car. There's only one seat in there. It's a cool F40, definitely neat, but not as neat as this thing. So this is a 24-hour of Le Mans 1995 Hobby 64 racing livery car. That should be somewhat accurate, I would imagine, to the actual race car. And this thing looks pretty sick. What number did we get? 1406 on this one. Not that it matters, but for those of you that care about numbers, let's go ahead and unscrew it. Set the base over there. This one rolls pretty good. But again, it's plastic base on these. You got to be very, very careful because it's got that little antenna coming out the top. But really cool racing livery. Cool looking wheels. This is how this car is kind of meant to look. Like, I don't know if they ever really made any road going versions of the F40 LM. Maybe they did, I don't know. Maybe they painted one in just yellow, but I doubt it. This is how they're supposed to look. Just a killer looking car. Just a timeless shape, and it's just great. Like, the F40 is just one of the coolest looking cars of all time. I don't think there's any dispute to that. I mean, you can try, but it's just a amazing looking car. And in a racing livery, I think it looks really, really awesome. So I think this is fantastic. You guys will have to let me know what you think. So again, these are IXO models. And then sticking with racing Ferraris, we've got these two. These are 458 Italia GT3s. We'll start with this red one. This is from FIA GT3 Europe 2011. So again, it should be an accurate livery. This is number 737. So again, it's kind of cool that they give you the number of the car, but the only thing that's a little bit odd with that is you don't know how many were actually made. It does not tell you how many were made. And that would be kind of cool if it did. These do not roll. I don't think any. I've got a couple of these, and none of them roll. So, and this should be an accurate livery. Apex tubulars, totally. You got detailed taillights and headlights, and it looks really, really good. The wing is definitely going to be fragile. The mirrors are definitely going to be fragile. The antenna on the top, of course, is going to be fragile. Very cool looking. It's got a plastic base. It's really cool looking. It doesn't roll. So for those of you that care about rolling, this is a static display model. To me, I don't really care. I don't mind that it's a static display. It looks really neat like that. Is it cooler kind of if it rolls? Yeah, I think it is kind of neat. I don't know why it's cool, but it just is. I don't really get how to explain why it matters, but it does. So this one is GT Asia 2016, same tooling. So we'll open this one up. Try to be careful here. Unscrew this one from the base. This is the last one we've got today. So 458 Italia GT Asia 2016. I'll lose a screw. And here's this guy. And of course, this, you know, is ain't gonna roll either. Cool livery on this one. Shiny like wrap. The mirrors are different. The mirrors are tooled differently than this one. So there are some subtle differences, but still really neat. I don't know. What do you guys think about the static display style mount? Different wing on this one as well, by the way. What do you think about the static display models? Do you care if it rolls or not? The F40s are borderline. Well, they do. They all roll. This one's struggling because it's got a wonky wheel, but this one at least rolls. Lately I've been getting into racing livery cars. I just think that they're really cool to get them, especially if they're like a legit kind of replica. So like this set right here of cars, Porsches versus Ferrari, I think are pretty neat. And then, you know, I think this one's really nice. This is really nice, this casting. So I can't really complain about that either. I wonder if this is an original Tarmac casting or who developed it. You just never know with Tarmac, because Tarmac uses draws from a bunch of other diecast manufacturers and then puts out stuff with their name on it. And that's fine. They almost like private label things, I guess, is almost what you could consider it. And I have no problem with that at all. I think it's cool that they do that, and it's nice that we're able to get these Ferraris. If they didn't do that, you know, I don't know, we wouldn't be able to get these probably in 1/64 scale. So IXO models, casting, and then, you know, Tarmac puts them out. And I think that it's pretty awesome that they do that. So, honestly, my least favorite of this grouping would probably be the RWB. It does look kind of cool, but not as cool as the other Porsches. And not as cool as the racing Ferraris, or that Mercedes, for that matter. All right, anyway, that's going to be it for this. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully you like Tarmac Works. I'm a big fan. Tarmac has done a lot of cool stuff lately. It's just you know, fantastic cars that are hard to pass up if you're a premium diecast collector. So check them out if you haven't already, and hopefully this gives you some insight into their lineup if you didn't know, or if you haven't had one for yourself. But you can kind of get an idea now of, you know, what you're looking at and how it's going to be when it gets to you and in your hands and out of the acrylic case. So, all right, thank you guys very much for watching. Have a good day.